Alright guys, so I wanted to do a little review slash update on the Radeon Red Devil 6900 XT. Now, for those of you who don't know, I built my first computer, I think it was 3 months ago now, and it was the first time that I had ran a Radeon graphics card and the first time that I had an AMD CPU. Now I've already done an update video that I just posted like a couple days ago for the overall build and my thoughts on building your own PC. And now I figured I would go and do a little update slash my experiences with AMD. So I'm going to do one for the 5950X and then one for the 6900 XT. Now, before we get started, I'd like to show you guys a comparison between the 1080 Ti, which is what I had in my PC prior to me finding and securing a new high-end graphics card, which I originally was going to get the 6800 XT, but I found that this 6900 XT, the Red Devil Ultimate, was only $100 more than 6800 XT. It was on sale, so I picked this bad boy up. And you can see that it's longer, it's wider, and it's thicker. And it also requires 3 8-pin connections compared to the 1080 Ti, which required 1 8-pin and 1 6-pin. So it does suck a lot of power. And on the box, it also specifies that you need a 900 watt power supply. Now, I have an 850 watt power supply, and I've had no issues. So I think they were just being overly generous with the power supply needed to power that thing. Now here's a picture of it when I initially unboxed it, which I also have the unboxing on my channel, so if you guys want to check that out, feel free to. This is the bottom of the card. It's got some nice fans there. These are LED strips, as well as there's 3 LED strips here and here, and then let me show you the other side here. Here's the top, you got the nice devil face that lights up, and then you have a dual BIOS mode, one for overclocking and one is silent mode. I have not messed with this, I just switched it to overclock mode and left it there. And you can see the 3 8-pin connectors over here, and I'll show you guys a picture of it up in my PC, and I gotta say that it completes the look. I wasn't initially going for the RGB look, but one thing led to another, and you know, it was my first time building a PC, so I said, hey, just throw it all in there, man. I'm gonna make it nice and shiny and make it look good. So this is the Corsair 5000D airflow case. Just for reference, it's a pretty big case. It's a mid-tower, but man, it's ginormous. Now my last PC was the Alienware Aurora R6. That thing was very small compared to this case, so that's just my perspective on case sizes. This might just be the normal mid-tower case, but it was big to me, you know. And you can also put 3 fans behind the shroud. The shroud pops out. You can put 3 fans there. Has enough room to put another 360 millimeter radiator, so there's plenty of room for extra activities, which I'm sure I will do in the future. But for now, the build is amazing. I have no complaints, but there was some growing pains with having this Radeon graphics card. Now, when you install your drivers, it will install this Alienware, or not Alienware, AMD's Adrenalin software, which basically, honestly, it's pretty cool. I wish Nvidia had something similar to this. I know they have what is it, like Nvidia GeForce experience or whatever, but it's yeah, it's not that good, not compared to this. This is very nice. It tracks all your FPS in your games, your average FPSs. You can stream and record through this, and it allows you to monitor all your stuff, and you can set up an overlay, but it also lets you overclock everything, which is very nice to have everything consolidated into one program. Now, as you can see, I do have an overclock setup. I'm not a professional. This is my first time ever overclocking anything, but you know, I'm sure I could push this card way further than this, but this is where I ended up, and it's stable. You can see I have smart access memory enabled, and everything works fine. The only problem is every time when I boot my PC, well, not every time, but 9 out of 10 times, I'll get this error right here where it says default Radeon Wattman settings have been restored due to an unexpected system failure, and then it will reset the overclock on my graphics card. It'll set everything to default. Now, I don't know why it does this. I figured maybe it was because it was an unstable overclock, but I play everything that I play, I have no issues. I've even benchmarked the card and had no issues. It only happens when my PC starts. So I don't really know. I don't know if that's a bug in the software or if it's just it's only unstable when it's booting up. I have no idea. That's the only issue I have with the software that comes with your Radeon graphics card. Now, I did, when I initially put the card in 3 months ago, everything worked fine. I installed this. It had the January drivers installed. It tells you the driver right here. Right now we're on 22.4.1. This works fine. Well, hold on. Let me go back. So I installed the card. Everything was fine. Then the March, I believe it was the March drivers, 22.3.1. And I installed those and I started getting black screening on all 3 of my monitors. Bing, bing, bing. I'd be gaming, doing whatever, and then pop, pop, pop. Everything was just going black. And I was like, what the heck is going on, dude? Now, we've all heard of the whole AMD's terrible because everything black screens. And honestly, I took that as kind of like a fanboy type thing. I was like, I have to see for myself. I'm not going to be one that just jumps on the thing and says, yeah, screw AMD, blah, 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 blah. I wanted the experience for myself. Well, it turns out that that was actually true. So I ended up rolling back to the January drivers, and that fixed everything. Everything was fine. But when the April drivers came out, I said, all right, dude, like, I want to update my drivers because I know there's going to be performance increase. I don't want to be stuck on these drivers for the entire life of the card. So I ended up updating to 22.4.1, as you can see, and I was still getting black screening. It just random, all the screens would go black and then they'd come back. Like nothing would crash or anything, everything would just go black. So I ended up going into the graphics settings in here and I just disabled a bunch of the extra gizmo gadgets in here and it ended up fixing my issue. So something in here was making it not happy, dude. So since I did that, I've had no black screens. I've had no crashing. I did have a lot of crashing, but that was because I was learning how to overclock. So yes, that was a learning experience. I'm still learning. I am brand new to it, but as far as drivers, that's the only issue I've had. There hasn't been any driver updates since then. So hopefully we do not get the black screening again, because I will say it is frustrating when you get a top of the line card and your screens are flashing black. It's like, whoa, 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 dude. Like, I'm getting this crazy FPS. I got these overclocks, this card's insane. And then now bang, 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 bang. Like, what's going on here? But that's it. That's the only issue I had in the 3 months that I've had the card. It plays everything fine. It doesn't get hot. Granted, most of the games I play are at 1080p Ultra, unless I'm playing a single player game or I'm just messing around. Then I'll upscale it to 4K using well, let's see if I can find it here. Virtual Super Resolution. Using that, I can upscale any game I want up to 4K. So when I'm playing something that's not like an FPS game, that I want super high frames, then I use that and I bump it up to 4K. Works great, no issues. I have tried recording. Now, initially, when I was searching for a card, I knew that I was going to be using my CPU to encode. So the encoding stigma around Radeon graphics cards didn't really matter to me. If you are planning on recording with your graphics card, do not get an AMD graphics card or a Radeon graphics card, okay? I'm going to tell you right now. Well, here's the thing. If you're just recording, then in OBS you can use CQP, and that'll basically allow the card to use as high of a bitrate as it wants to maintain a nice solid picture. So in that aspect, yeah, you can get nice recordings if you're just recording. But if you're going to stream where you have to have the constant bitrate, right? You have to set the constant bitrate. Do not get an AMD graphics card because you are not going to be happy. The encoder is not up to par whatsoever. Now, that did not affect me at all because I already ruled that out because I knew that I was getting the 5950X, the 16-core Omega processor, to encode everything. So that didn't go into my decision making. But yes, I agree. If you are going to stream with your graphics card, do not get AMD. I have sample videos on my channel where I test 6,000 bitrate for Twitch, and I test 15,000 bitrate because that's what I used to record at, but I upped that to 25,000. But you can see that the quality is just not there. I wish AMD would get their guys on and do whatever they got to do to get that up to par to the Nvidia cards. But I will admit that that aspect is not there for Radeon cards. So if you were going to record or stream and do content creation with your graphics card, do not get a Radeon card unless you're just recording, because you can just let the thing suck as a million bit rate and be good to go. But if you're streaming, you're stuck at 6,000 or 8,000. And if you don't want giant file sizes, then you're going to set the bit rate like I do to 25,000 so that a 15-minute video isn't like 6 gigs, right? But other than that, absolutely happy with the card. It's a beast of a card. It's awesome. I have it overclocked. CPU's overclocked. I'm going to do a video on the CPU side, a little review slash is the CPU right for you type thing. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope to see you guys on the next one.